Good day everyone, we are the Group 7 and this is the continuation of receivable management.
Good day everyone, I am Christine Paderna from Group 7. So, credit policy, a set of rating guidelines that a company uses to determine which customers are eligible for credit, the terms of that credit, and how to collect payments. It helps manage financial risk by outlining criteria for granting credit, setting credit limit, establishing payment terms and discounts, and detailing processes for collecting overdue payments. A well-defined policy ensures consistency, transparency, and protection against financial losses. So there are three components of the credit policy. First is term credit. Term credit means these are the specific conditions under which a company extend credit to its customer. The second is credit standards. These are the minimum criteria a customer must meet the quality for credit. And the third is collection policy. These are the procedure a company follows to collect overdue account. So the term credit, this establishes a firm's proposal on how the goods and services are to be sold. This includes the credit period and the cash discount. So sa credit period is the length of time in which the credit sales are allowed. The credit period varies from one industry to another. Firms with longer credit periods have a higher level of accounts receivable than firms with shorter credit periods. Normally, a credit period is offered from 30 days to 90 days and it's always start from the date of issuing the invoice. Halimbawa, nagbenta ang FLT company ng 50,000 na halaga ng product sa SGT. Ang term niya ay N30. Ang N30 ay meaning net 30 days, ibig sabihin kailangan bayaran ni SGT ang buong 50,000 sa loob ng 30 days mula sa pitsa ng invoice ng walang discount. And the second is cash discount. Cash discount are given to customer to entice prompt payment. It is a deduction from the account receivable provided that the customer paid its obligation within the discount period. The discount period of the length of time in which the cash discount is offered. If the customer did not pay within the discount period, the entire amount of the obligation will be paid at the end of the period of the credit period. Halimbawa, nagbenta ang FLT company ng 100,000 ng product sa SGT. Ang term niya ay 2, 10 or N30, ibig sabihin mayroong 2% cash discount kung babayaran ang obligasyon niya sa loob ng 10 araw mula sa petsa ng invoice. Kung gagamitin ang discount, ang babayaran ni SGT ay 98,000 na lang because 100,000 times 2% equals 98,000. At kung hindi naman niya gagamitin ni SGT ang discount, ibig sabihin hindi siya nagbayad ng 10 araw, ang buong babayaran niya sa ika 30 days ay ang buong 100,000 pesos. And the next is relaxing term credit is reported by Mr. Kapinpin. Thank you.
Good day everyone, I am Carl Jason Kapinpin and today I will discussing the relaxing term credit. Relaxing term credit means that a company changes its current credit policy to be more lenient. For example, if a company currently requires payment within 30 days, it might change this to 45 days or even longer. This is often done to attract more customers and increase sales. However, a company should only relax its credit terms if the additional profit it expects to earn from the increased sales is greater than or equal to the extra capital it will need to tie up in accounts receivable due to the longer payment period. This decision is made by comparing the expected profit with the company's minimum desired rate of return. For example, the current sales volume of FLT traders is 100,000 units per annum. Other data are follows by unit selling price is 50 pesos, unit variable costs and expenses 30 pesos, fixed costs and expenses 1,200,000 pesos. Gross profit rate is 30% and term of sales is 30 days. An increase in sales of 25% is expected if the term credit increases to 45 days. Bad debts expense is expected to increase by 2% of increased sales. The minimum desired rate of return is 20%. Income tax is 32%. Inventory is maintained at a level equivalent to 30 days sales. FLT traders uses 360 days in a year. Incremental net income. First, sales. Current sales is 100,000 units times 50 pesos per unit is equal to 5 million pesos. For the proposed sales, 100,000 units times 125% that has 25% increase times 50 pesos per unit is equal to 6,250,000. For the incremental sales is 6,250,000 minus 5 million is equal to 1,250,000. Second, variable cost. Current variable cost is 100,000 units times 30 pesos per unit is equal to 3 million. Proposed variable cost 100,000 units times 125% times 30 pesos per unit is equal to 3,750,000. And for the bad debts, 100,000 units times 125% times 50 pesos per unit times 2% of increased sales is equal to 125,000. Then, for the total variable cost, 3,750,000 plus 125,000 is equal to 3,875,000. And for the incremental variable cost, 3,875,000 minus 3 million is equal to 875,000. Third, contribution margin. Current contribution margin is 5 million of sales minus 3 million of variable cost is equal to 2 million pesos. Proposed contribution margin 6,250,000 of sales minus 3,875,000 of variable cost is equal to 2,375,000. For incremental contribution margin, 2,375,000 minus 2 million is equal to 375,000. Fourth, fixed cost. Fixed costs remain constant at 1,200,000 in both scenarios. Therefore, there is no incremental fixed cost. Fifth, net income. Current net income is 2 million for the contribution margin minus 1,200,000 for the fixed cost is equal to 800,000. Then for the proposed net income, 2,375,000 for the contribution margin minus 1,200,000 for the fixed cost is equal to 1,175,000. Then for the incremental net income, 1,175,000 pesos minus 800,000 pesos equal to 375,000.
Hello everyone, this is Renyala P. Aliñabo. So, what is credit standards are like a set of rules that help companies decide. Example, you own a small grocery store. A new customers comes in and ask if they can take groceries now and pay at the end of the month. Would you say yes? You'll probably think, do they have a job? Can they be trusted? And that's how credit standards work. When a company or a bank is deciding if someone deserves credit, they look at the 5 important things: character, capacity, capital, conditions, and collateral. Those are the 5 C's. The first one is character. This is about who the person is, not just what's on paper. Example, Customers has always paid their credit card and utility bills on time for the past 5 years. That shows a good character. The second one is capacity. We look at their ability to pay. This is based on income, expenses, existing debt. The next is capital. This means the borrower's own financial contribution. It shows commitment and reduces the lender's risk. Number 4 is conditions. Conditions are the outside factors that could affect someone's ability to repay a loan, like the economy, their industry, their business environment, the purpose of the loan. And the last but not the least is collateral. This is the security of the loan. If the borrower fails to pay, the lender can take the assets. Sources of credit information. To make good decisions, company gathers information from different sources. First is financial statements. This shows the income, expenses, and savings from the customer or business. Credit rating agencies. These companies like Phil Rating or Standard & Poor's give scores based on how well someone pays their debts. Example, a high score means a person is good at paying on time. The next is commercial banks. Banks may provide some information about a person's credit behavior. Example, they might say if someone has a loan or if they are long-time customers. Trade checking. This means contacting the customer suppliers to ask about their payment habits. For example, I asked the supplier, "Hi, does Joshua usually pay his bill on time?" If supplier says yes, then that's a good sign. Collection policy, which is a set of rules for managing money that customers owe receivables. A good policy includes keep tracking of accounts, sending bills, and reminding customers to pay. If customers still don't pay, a collection agency might be hired, which costs extra. Collecting money can be expensive because it involves staff, phone calls, letters, and even legal action. Also, changing the policy can affect how much is sold, how long it takes to get paid, and how much money is lost. So, any changes must be planned carefully to make sure the benefits are greater than the cost.
I'm Lopez and my topic is evaluating receivables management. So it is when a business allows customers to buy now and pay later. The money customers still owe is called accounts receivable. To make sure the business doesn't lose money, we need to evaluate how well receivables are being managed. And there are 4 ways to do this. And number 1 is ratio of accounts receivable to net credit sales. It shows if the company is too strict or too lenient in giving credit. High ratio means many customers still owe them, and it also means na yung policy nila sa company is stricter. So, ang formula natin is accounts receivable divided by net credit sales equals ratio. So, for example, yung credit sales natin sa company is 200,000 and then merong employee na nag-utang ng 50,000. So, divide lang natin yung 200,000 sa 50,000. So, equals to 0.25 or 25%. So, meaning 25% of sales is still hindi pa nababayaran. So, if yung number na ito is high, so our company might be too strict when it comes to credit. Number 2 is receivable turnover. It measures how quickly receivables are collected. High turnover means customers pay fast or cash comes in quickly. Low turnover means customers take longer to pay or risk of cash shortage. So, ang formula dito is net credit sales divided by average accounts receivable is equals to receivable turnover. So, for example, net credit sales natin is 300,000, then average accounts receivable is 50,000. So, divide natin ang 300 sa 50,000 is equals to 6, meaning yung customers is nagbabayad lang sila ng utang about 6 times a year. Number 3 is average collection period or ACP. It tells the average number of days it takes to collect money from customers. It also helps check if the collection period is reasonable. So, for example, if average collection period is 30 days, so ibig sabihin yung customers usually pay within a month. Okay, so ang formula naman dito natin is 360 divided by receivable turnover is equals to ACP. So, ang 360 po is given na siya sa formula. Then, example, so receivable turnover which is 6. So, 6 is, ito po yung result natin kanina sa number 2. So, divide lang po natin siya sa 360. So, equals to 60 days. So, meaning, it takes about 60 days or 2 months for a customers to pay into a company. Number 4, aging of accounts receivable. So, groups receivable based on how long they've been unpaid. So, it helps company identify who were those customers who pay on time, customers who are late, and customers who never pay.